So next up, we have Ed Clemons, who's an ALT in Miyagi from 2009 to 2011. He will be speaking about the 2011 earthquake and tsunami and disaster prevention. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Sheila. Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Clemons. I was in Miyagi-ken, Kessenuma City from 2009 to 2011. And yeah, where do I start? So I'm going to be sharing my story of my time there during the disaster and just a few things on disaster safety in Japan. You know, Kessenuma, it's about, just to describe the city, it's about an 8-hour drive northeast of Tokyo. It's on the coast. Specifically, my area, it's called Karakura. It was kind of like a peninsula off of Kessenuma that joined the city maybe like I want to say 10 years ago, so, or maybe more than that because I was there 10 years ago. But beautiful, beautiful city. You know, mountainous, and then so you have the sea to the east, and then the mountains to the west. I'm from Chicago, so you know, if you're from Chicago, you know Chicago is very flat compared to. I mean, we have Lake Michigan. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, mountains and ocean. That was my first time, so I really appreciated it. You know, the lifestyle was a little slower than I was used to, but the people were so nice, and you know, just really well connected community, and the food was so fresh. Kessenuma is also um, has a big fishing industry, um, and so yeah, if you're into fish, definitely it's fresh, cheap. You know, um, yeah, it's delicious as well as the vegetables and whatnot. So yeah, it wasn't my first time in Japan. I actually studied abroad from 2007, fall of 2007 to spring 2008 in Kobe city, which is in West Japan. But you know, going from city to rural area, um, it was a different experience. So I definitely appreciate it. So Dylan, if you can show that picture for me, the first one. So this is a picture of me and a few of my students actually at their graduation from school. As you see, there are other students lined up by the door, waving graduate students out. Um, so this picture, I believe, was taken around April 2011, and it's a special picture to me because just 1 month before we had experienced what was probably one of the, you know, worst natural disasters in Japan, and it was bad because it was on so many different levels. You know, there was a huge earthquake that happened off the coast of Kessenuma, um, and that earthquake in turn triggered a huge tsunami, um, which triggered, you know, some cities or, you know, properties catching fire as well. And then on top of that, you know, in Fukushima, as some people may know, you know, there was basically the beginning of, you know, a nuclear meltdown at one of the plants. So, yeah, it was a very, very, yeah, hard to describe it, you know. Um, yeah, unique time. But you know, everybody, you know, that was around me, you know, we were all going through the same thing, and so, you know, just experiencing it. The reason why I want to, and you can just keep the picture up, because I'm gonna segue into the next part, but yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. Um, 1 second, let's see. 1 second, please. Okay. Yeah, I want to share this story because, you know, my situation was kind of on the spectrum of things that can happen. It's really, on the worst case scenario type side of things. I just want everyone to know that, you know, Japan, of course, is a very beautiful country, but it is disaster prone. So it's important for everyone to pay attention to, uh, what's going on around them, as far as, news and just be prepared, just in case, things happen, anywhere, everywhere it's that happens. So, um, interesting thing about this picture, the school that we're at. I have 5 schools, but this was my main school, and I also ended up living out of this school for 2 weeks during the disaster. Basically, uh, the roads to the main city were kind of destroyed by the tsunami and whatnot. So, eventually the city did get out to us and they would bring us water. And they also brought us a gas generator. But yeah, it was basically back to, basic living, um, but, out of all of the craziness that was happening, the I also saw a lot of good too. The community really came together. There were a lot of businesses who, they didn't have electricity and whatnot. So what they did is shared their food supplies with, um, like for instance, my school and some of the other evacuation centers. And where everyone's taking turns, helping out, cleaning up, whatever we need to do, until things could get back to some sense of normalcy. Thank you. Okay. So, so from there, things got better, and then eventually their graduation happened, even though it was supposed to happen a month before, you know. But we made it through, and on that, I just want to, show a few things that you might want to become familiar with while you're in Japan. So if you can just go to the next picture. All right. So here we have your standard emergency exit sign. So you'll see these, buildings, subways, train stations, just so you know, I believe it's the kanji is Hijoguchi. So, always a good thing to recognize and remember wherever you stay at. You can go to the next picture. Of course, sirens. Even here, some of these things are just, things that you would see wherever you're from as well, but, maybe in different variations and whatnot. But sirens too, you know, I'll be honest, a lot of times what I heard on the sirens, I did not understand what was being spoken. But, just feel free to ask your neighbors, what's going on. Sometimes it's just like a test, whatnot. So uh, yeah, those good things to keep in mind. Next picture. Uh, TV. So, when you're watching TV in Japan, they'll let you know if there's an earthquake in your area. So here's, an example. It's just TV show, and then, the emergency uh, broadcast comes on and lets you know. And usually they'll let you know how strong, if it's an earthquake or whatnot, or if it's a typhoon, which way it's headed, how strong or whatnot. Um, so yeah, hard to miss those. Next picture. Your cell phones. Most cell phone companies will automatically send you these alerts, and they can be for, a number of things. Once again, earthquakes or, tsunami warnings, whatnot. So pay attention to those as well. Next picture. And fire drills or drills in general. This is one is for fire. This is for kids. While you're at your schools, they probably will have a few drills while you're there, so you get a chance to see um, how things happen there. Go to the next picture, and then this is one. Kind of like I guess I don't know who knows Takarazuka, but they're kind of a famous theater house out of West Japan. You know, and all of the actors are women. Women play the male and female roles, but very talented people. But yeah, this is like a popular, I guess. How do you say PSA they made? So all right, pretty easy to understand. Next. And then flyers, you'll get flyers from your towns or cities. They should have pamphlets concerning more pertinent information to your area, what's more common to happen in your area, which emergency routes and all of that. So it's good to have one of these handy as well. And then I believe that's the last picture. The last thing I would recommend is, creating an emergency kit. And I actually have a link to share with everyone. I'll share it in the chat from the NHK website. But basically, it just gives you tips on making your own emergency kit in the case that something does happen. It's good to. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to share it. I meant to share that with everybody. How do you? I think I sent it to Dylan. Sorry.
You have to click on that little two thing.
Okay, there we go. All right. So yeah, that's it for my talk. I just want to let everybody know, like I still had a great time while I was there, and obviously, something as serious as, disasters, it like you can't take away the seriousness. It was reality for a lot of people and still is. The town's still recovering, a lot of towns, but there's also good to learn from it and discuss with others as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Really amazing story. And thank you for, I think your story speaks also to resilience. And thank you for those important reminders.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. And just to say it, I was in the same city and prefecture as Ed. So all of that stuff I completely echo. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story there. I know that went over the allotted time, but sharing those things are, I think, very pertinent to everyone on JET, because Japan is in the ring of fire. Earthquakes happen, tsunamis happen. So I do appreciate that.